What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Basara 2 Heroes! Alright, moving on to Oichi's third fight in her side story, which is going to be up against Kenshin, of all people. I mean, she's really taking on some heavy hitters here. Like, she just fought Yukimura and Takeda Shingen at once, and now she's fighting Oichi Kenshin. That's pretty crazy. I think I lost a little bit of footage towards the end of the last video, so that's why it cut off kind of short there, but I pretty much got into critical health and had to wait for my health to replenish. So we're going to be using another new secondary attack for this one, which I demonstrated a little bit there, where she splits her Naginata into two and starts juggling enemies around, and it's really, really cool. It's one of my favorite moves for her, and there's like a stick in the middle that holds them together where she can just kind of swing them around. Really good move for her, one of my favorites. And we're also using her first alternate costume, which is more of a traditional kimono and doesn't show off that epic thigh game that she has going on there. But it is absolutely gorgeous. It's probably my favorite outfit for her. It is really, really beautiful. So, again, I guess I should mention that MomoCon was just last weekend, so I mentioned that in a couple other videos. I actually did not bring my Kojiro cosplay to MomoCon this year, like I have the previous 2 years, because he's a little bit out of commission. I need to rebuild some armor from scratch for him, and he'll be back before you know it. But I've got a couple other projects I want to focus on right now, and hopefully hopefully I can find some people that are more interested in the Basara community when I cosplay him again, because surprisingly the fan base has really been very inactive when I've done my Basara cosplaying. Here's the other secondary attack we have for Oichi here, where the phantom hands come out of the ground, and she's able to siphon energy from enemies as we walk by them. And I'm not a big fan of that. Again, it's one of those slow attacks that I just don't feel like lends to good gameplay in a Musou game like this, so I'm going to kind of stay away from using that, although I just wanted to demonstrate it, because obviously I'm going to demonstrate every secondary attack for every character that I play as. But it's not typically very good. I don't like it. But again, it's really interesting. If those of you know, those of you who are watching know the real origins of Oichi's powers, let me know, because it doesn't really make sense to me. It makes more sense in the context of the anime, where it's like, you see her basically, you know, Nobunaga gets killed at the end of Season 1, and she sort of, it's almost like she takes on his dark soul in a way. And there's other interpretations that are, it's Azai Nagamasa's vengeful soul that is giving her these powers, but seeing as how he was mostly, you know, holy and not vindictive at all, it doesn't really make much sense. By the way, Oichi is highly corrupt and dark and has all these wicked phantasmal powers, which are really quite cool. But she still does appear to be a delicate flower who doesn't really like to fight, but in the context of the games, we really get to see her, you know, fight really well. And I like her Naginata weapon better than purely fighting with the hands. We'll see a little bit of a different gameplay variety to Oichi in Basara 3. But for now, we're going to see her exactly the way she is, which is pretty awesome. So, in Season 2 of the anime, I don't know if I talked about this, shortly after the initial conflict when Hideyoshi is introduced and all that, we have a scene where Yukimura is traveling to go visit Shimatsu, and along his travels on the road, he ends up stumbling upon an old castle. It might have even been Nobunaga's old fortress, and he finds Oichi in there, and she almost kills him. And he's able to rescue her and all that. I think he also finds Matsunaga Hisahide, who's been like kind of exploiting her powers a little bit for his own selfish needs. Oh yeah, it was Matsunaga Hisahide that almost killed him. Oichi didn't really do a whole lot, but it's at that point it's established that Oichi is alive and has these vindictive powers, and she is kind of a sleeper character for the rest of the season. You don't really get to see her do a whole lot. And then I really love the way that Oichi is characterized in the Basara movie, and I can't talk about that too much because it will be spoilers for Basara 3. But it's done much better in the movie than it is in the quote-unquote third season, Basara Judge End, which was, I know I've mentioned it before, but that was a standalone series that was not considered canon with the other two anime series. It was considered canon with Basara 3 the game. And it did a couple of things well, but they were few and far between to the things they did bad. The amount of things they did right was negligible in comparison to the things they utterly fucked up, including the art style, and the characterization, and the music, and the pacing of the plot, and a bunch of other things that I don't care for. But that's another rant for another time. But basically, Oichi's introduction into Judge End always bothered me because she essentially just shows up, but you just see her just prowling the fields, just wrecking things with her magic hands, and it's like, oh look, there's that Oichi up to no good again, and it's like the audience is just supposed to know what's going on. Like, there's no explanation for it at all. But anyway, so we're almost up to Oichi Kenshin here. Well, this has been a pretty short map, as typically is the case for Kenshin. Kenshin's map usually always has a lot of beautiful rolling hills and nice fresh greenery. It's usually a very scenic and pretty landscape, as is fitting for Oichi Kenshin. I love the way they characterize the captain units for the Oichi army, because you always have that one guy who is like, Oichi's first unit, I'm invincible, and he runs in and gets killed in one hit or something, which we'll see that even more dramatized in Basara 3 for sure. He'll actually be a little bit of a mini-boss in a way, but not in a very significant way. Alright, time to fight Oichi Kenshin. So, hopefully he's not Kasuga in disguise again, but I guess we'll find out. So the challenging thing about Oichi Kenshin, as I established from the first game, is that he's just so damn fast. And it really does present a problem for characters like Oichi and Keiji, for instance, that have more fluent but still kind of slow attacks, and they really kind of have a steady climb and steady escalation to their combos. It's not somebody like Masamune or Kojiro that can attack very quickly. But we used our Fury Drive there and managed to increase our speed significantly so we can match Oichi Kenshin's blinding speed. Nobunaga's helping us out a little bit, but he's basically just having his ass kicked, as he usually tends to do when the AI is in control of him. Hell, even when we're in control of him, we didn't have much luck with Nobunaga. A lot of other enemies clustering in here, but nothing that our Basara attack can't handle. And obviously, if you couldn't guess by now, Oichi Kenshin is Ice Elemental, so we can potentially get frozen in place, and he has a really nasty attack he just used on us there, where he basically stun locks you and deals some obscene amount of damage. He's low in health, but his gauge is getting dangerously full, so I may want to back off for a little bit. Oh, there he goes. We'll be careful. We have plenty of health, though. I'm not really worried about that. We can afford to take a few good hits and still be in the action. And we can use our Fury Drive. Again, this is, I think, is the most I've used the Fury Drive as any character, really. It's actually kind of nice. Alright, we got him. That wasn't too hard. She's so pretty. I really do love this outfit. Where the hell was Kasuga? I'm honestly kind of confused. She usually fights in his place and as a decoy, and we go fight him somewhere else later. I love the way her hair is cut like that, too.